Good Thursday. And happy noon o'clock.
Did you see me think about it? Good.
What day is it?
I was like, is it Friday? No, because we have interviews. Is it yesterday was Wednesday? That makes today Thursday.
All right. So as you guys can see, for those of you guys who are watching us live, we're using this new camera.
Hold on. I was going to ask.
All right.
What their experience
Okay,
is.
go.
How's the visual for you guys? Let's say hi to our friends. We haven't sang our song in a while.
Okay.
Good morning, Jamie, Facebook user, Heather, Roxanne, Tawny, Brittany, Nancy, Fran, Daniela, Teresa, Melanie,
Audrey,
Kayla,
Kristen,
Lori, Kristen, Carrie, Kimberly.
All right.
The
Well,
visual
they're
looks
saying that it looks great.
top notch. Looks okay. Perfect. That's like 3 very different responses. Top notch. Looks okay. Perfect. It looks good. Sweet. The reason we're asking is because we're usually using this guy, but it takes up like all the space of the computer and we can't like see your guys' comments very well. So trying to eliminate things from in front of the screen so we can see you guys. And now when we got on, we're like, this looks weird. Looks weird on our end, but if it looks good to you guys.
It looks a little blurry for me, but
looks good to you guys.
But give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Are you about it or are you ain't
this
about
camera
that
looks
life?
better than the other one.
Do you guys see it differently than we do?
I think they might. I don't know. I put it in HD. It's supposed to be cool, high definition.
Maybe. Okay. Well,
happy day.
Yeah. Well,
slightly choppy, but it's subtle.
Yes, that's a great way to
put it. I like the other
Roxanne.
camera better. Okay.
All right.
And I do think this is better. Okay. Well, conclusion undecided still. And choppy could be because of your internet, or it could be because of the camera, but I don't know.
Wow. Okay. Well, heck.
Okay. Can you see my nose hairs? Like, is it that clear?
All right. Let's get right into it, because for those who are listening on podcast, they're like, what the fuck is going on with these pauses? But if you're listening to us on podcasts, my question for you is, why are you not showing up live? I get it. 5 years from now, you're going to be like, I just discovered you.
It does kind of look like there's a filter, which is weird because that's not us.
Yeah.
I said the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, we put our filters on for you guys because we're feeling fancy on a Thursday. All right.
I don't want you to see my pores.
All right, you guys. So it is Thursday, and Thursday's conversations are lifestyle conversations. And considering the timing of events and whatnot, obviously Fridays are guest interview days, and this coming weekend is none but July 4th weekend. Okay, so
Independence Day.
So obviously July 4th weekend, I mean, it is a long summer weekend. It is a holiday weekend, which obviously lots of celebrations, but with lots of celebrations, also a lot of people slip. And really the intention of this conversation is to help you guys stay on track, whatever that means to you. So the first thing, and Canada Day. What? All right. To all of our
It's
Canadian
today.
peeps.
Happy Canada
Happy
Day.
Canada Day. So, I mean, shit.
Oh,
Like,
Canada. Take it from here, Canadians.
do you guys notice this thing? When Erin is on a roll, I shut my mouth. When I'm on a roll,
Erin interrupts.
Erin interrupts.
Did you notice this one thing where like what's mine is yours, but also what's yours is yours? Like all my pens, like my computer charger.
No,
My
all
water.
the things in the house are yours. You guys, you know how in every relationship, this is gonna turn to a relationship. We're gonna get to 4th of July, but in every relationship, there's the one who is like, just give me like my little corner, and you can take everything else. You have all the things. Are you kidding?
Okay, but all the time, what's mine is yours, and what's yours is also
I
yours.
do borrow her pens and
my
pencils.
water and my computer charger.
No, I just like to have a sip of your water at night.
Because it tastes better.
Yes, that's it. But I don't take your water. I have my own.
Drink
I
it.
do take your pens though, because you guys,
All the
I have 4
time.
notebooks, and I'm on my side of the office. And when I do my morning stuff in the morning, sometimes I'm like, I don't bring my pen because I'm like, she's got a bunch of pens down there.
Or do you have a bunch of pens?
And I also
somewhere?
forgot to bring one last night. I forgot to bring one downstairs. But I feel like in every single relationship, there's the one who has all the things, and then there's the one who is like, I will wear the same pair of shoes for 5 years. Guess who's who?
Wait. How many shoes do I have? How many shoes do you have?
You've gone a lot better, but you just ordered 2 pairs of shoes.
And when was the last time I ordered shoes before that?
A year ago.
A year ago. And when was the last time I ordered shoes before that? Don't even know.
A minute.
Me neither. I used to have though like 40 pairs.
But you just signed up for Stitch Fix.
That's true, because I don't want to go to the mall to go shopping.
I don't either. Goes back to my point. Erin likes to get new things.
Who else likes to get new things?
You got this camera this week. What else did you get this week? It's like every day, like I open up the door, I'm like, oh, there's an Amazon thing. Like 3 times a year.
I'm trying
it's
to
mine.
improve the quality of your viewing experience. I'm sorry. Please. Hold on. Let me take it down. I'm going to return it to Amazon.
Joe, and tell us. You know what? My phone is actually not old. However, my computer, don't even let me get started. Dude.
Sarit can't even use her computer without it being plugged in, or else it only lasts for like, what's the time span on it now? 10 seconds maybe. She's like, oh no, I dropped the charger, hurry. It's like the 5-second rule when your food falls on the ground. You gotta get it real quick.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. I am frugal AF. The only thing I spend my money on is investments. I will wear the same shirt, the same shoes, use the same computer until I can't. You, on the other hand, you're not. There's a balance, though.
I get technology and I use it.
Yeah. I live in the Stone Age. All right. Let's... Danny, it is so freaking true. It is so true.
I'm trying to improve your experience.
Yeah. So true.
You see, Danny, Sarit's gonna this is just an amazing conversation. I'm gonna roll with it. But Sarit's gonna find out tomorrow morning when she opens the Chase bank account that I also got.
Oh my gosh. You did?
An electronic whiteboard.
What?
Look, but then she's also going to see a deposit into the account from my bank account of the exact same dollar amount. Because you know what? I have some teaching to do, and I'm going to improve the experience of the learner, which I hope someday will be you. Now she's mad.
Why did you even ask me then?
What do you mean?
So, okay.
Wait, what about 4th of July?
Man, I want to have another selling conversation about how you buy is how you sell, because this is a great selling conversation.
This is.
But maybe we should leave that for next week, because we really do have value to add to you.
It's a good conversation.
Yeah. Anyways.
Look, I think they love it. Look,
I know they love it. Like every couple's got one of you guys is frugal like me. The other one, you're a hella spender. Where are my frugal people at? But however, if you're frugal, you better invest in yourself. Like, I take investments very seriously. Shoes, on the other hand, unless that shit is torn, I'll wear it.
But also me now, yes, I have made those purchases. However, how have I improved over the last, even just a couple years?
Yeah, you really have.
I'm done. Mom.
No, like you really have. And this is an important conversation, because here's why. Like, this is how you got yourself into debt.
No, how I got myself into debt is spending money I didn't have.
Sure. And you didn't focus on your income.
And I didn't even spend like a quarter of what is available. See, I know where I'm at. Before it was like, I don't even care.
I found out.
Before it was like, I don't even care. I'm just going to get it and I'll figure it out later. I'll pay it back later somehow. How? I don't know, but I don't care because I want this thing. Now it's like, I know that I already have the available funds, and it doesn't make it like, it doesn't hurt my bank account to do that, you know? So it's like, yes, I see it, but also at the same time, there's like a mental component that goes to it, where it's like we were talking about yesterday, like the money mindset, right? Like the balance of, I want to invest in this thing, versus just like blowing money on nonsense that isn't going to be effective, that doesn't do anything to improve the quality of your life, that just, doesn't do anything.
Anyhow.
And at the end of the year, I'm going to say, Uncle Sam, you can minus that from what I owe you.
Strategy.
You see,
it's important. It's important. I mean, yeah.
So technically, I just got a 40% discount on that.
Yep. God bless America.
4th of July is in 3 days.
God bless America for Erin being my wife, and God bless America for really like all the laws and the benefits, like if you start to understand tax law, you get ahead, because it's not just about what you make.
The laws are in place.
It's about what you keep.
Just like a speeding law, there's a tax law, and you better believe I'm going to obey the law.
Mm-hmm. All right. So speaking of God bless America or Happy Canada Day, wherever you guys are at, by the way, drop a comment and tell us, where are you guys representing, whether it's in the US or Canada, where exactly? We'd love to know. Today, we're going to be talking about 4th of July and going into a holiday weekend, how are you going to, something that we like to always say is harmonize, right? Like if you are like, I don't care if it's a holiday, I just want to get ahead, then that's awesome. I'm probably with you. But if you're like, no, like I want to celebrate and I want to have some fun, then if you're a part of, the ENS Army, then I would say let's make sure that your celebrations, unless you're totally okay with it, are not taking you one step back. Because what happens is that a lot of people, use times like holidays to really like get them off track. And that's why, something that we hear very often is, I was really good, like, especially like as we get into like November, like where basically people eat their faces off for 5 weeks straight. I'm like, that's just ridiculously irresponsible.
You wouldn't even have a face.
But we want to make sure that in this weekend, like for one, if you're, focusing on staying ahead with your goals, then that's freaking awesome. Just keep on doing what you're doing. However, if you're like, I want to harmonize, then today's conversation is going to be about, okay, like how are you going to harmonize? So, most people end up failing because they fail to plan. So the most important thing before you get into the weekend, whether it's getting ahead or harmonizing, is you want to put a plan in order, because otherwise you are going to fail by default. And honestly, that is why most people end up failing, because they don't know how to plan. So if you already know how to plan, then that's awesome. Just, plan. What does harmonizing this weekend would look like for me? However, if you don't know how to plan, then what we're going to be talking about is some questions that will help you to, plan for your weekend so that you will be able to harmonize. Okay, so having a plan is super important. Now, what do we plan? So the first thing that we want to focus on always, and if you've been in any of our programs, right, most people think that if they want to get ahead with their goals or whatnot, it's about eating less food. We call it bullshit, because if you've seen Erin or myself, or if you've ever hang out with us, you will see very quickly that, we do not eat a little amount of food. Like, our bodies are absolute machines, and you can't starve a machine and expect it to work. This is how most of society lives. And then they wonder, why their metabolism is shut off. The reality is that you do need food, but not all foods are created equal. So what we're going to be talking about is this concept of, nutrient density. Okay, so shit food, processed food, junk food, what we'd consider to be holiday foods, and Erin's writing a list of holiday foods. Those foods are nutrient poor, okay, but are extremely high in calories. Okay, so when we're talking about nutrients, we're talking about, like how much vitamins or minerals comes in this quantity of foods in relation to calories. Okay, so basically the amount of nutrients over however many caloric units of distribution we're talking about.
Wow, okay? Those were.
So for example, I was just looking at one of the foods that were written down. Like if we're talking about like, like hot dogs, like how much vitamins and minerals you're getting from it, probably none. The only mineral that you're probably getting is an extreme amount of processed sodium over calories. Therefore, very nutrient poor. Okay. A food that's more nutrient dense is that a food that has obviously more vitamins and minerals for a lesser amount of calories. Okay, so those are your real foods. And if you've ever done any of our programs, okay, something that we always talk about is eat real food, not too much, mostly plants. Okay, so this is exactly what we talk about. We put a really strong emphasis on nutrient density, not necessarily macros, not necessarily calories, because what, by focusing on these numbers, what it leads to is insanity. And if you want to do something long term, you want to focus on sanity. Okay. Therefore, eat real food, not too much, mostly plants. Okay. So your first emphasis wants to be on nutrient density. How am I going to be getting my nutrient density? How many meals are going to be nutrient dense? How am I going to make sure that my foods are nutrient dense, and so on and so forth? Okay. So do you want to tell us what are the top holiday foods?
So I was writing down, like, I just Googled, this is not by any means like scientifically researched, I'm sure, but just to get an idea, like, what are the top foods that are consumed usually during 4th of July? If you think about 4th of July, it's very much usually like outside, because it's the beginning-ish it's still kind of the beginning of summer, and people haven't been outside much. And so I'm looking at these thinking, okay, if these are your jam, how can we make these versions better so that you can enjoy them, but they're not going to like wreak havoc so much on your goals? So I was looking up the top 10. I just looked up like whatever the first website was of like most consumed foods during 4th of July: cheeseburger, bacon cheeseburger, fries, hot dog, onion rings, wings, chips, soda, potato salad, pasta salad, grilled corn, barbecue chicken. And then I was thinking about desserts too. My grandma's birthday actually is on July 4th. So my grandma, I think she's about to be 70. I'm going to ask my mom. I think she's going to be 73. Or she's going to be 77.
That's a difference.
It is a difference. I'm going to ask my mom. Anyways, dude, my grandma is kicking. My grandma like does dragon boat racing, and like my grandma's good. But anyways, I was thinking about the desserts, because
we're gonna get to dessert to that in just a little bit.
Okay.
But like, you guys, these are the most common foods. And why is it important to know? It's important to know because chances are is that, unless everybody in your environment is living like you, and let's face it, that's probably not the case, because if it was, that would require, I would say, probably 5 years of environmental editing. Unless you've taken yourself to a complete other side of the country or world, and you're like, I'm just going to start my social and physical environment from zero. Other than that, chances are is that, like, you're probably, if you're planning on surrounding yourself with people this weekend, these foods are going to be in your surroundings. And it's important to know that. Okay.
Top drinks, beer.
Oh, for
hard
sure.
liquor, I'm sure. What are the White Claws?
Yeah. So that's with regards to nutrient density. The second thing that you want to do is you want to give yourself what we call an allowance. This is a term that we came up with in the inner circle that, like the group really, really liked.
Because allowance doesn't say you can't have this or that, or you have to avoid it. It's like, I'm going to have this. I'm just going to give myself a budget. I'm going to give myself a limit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you want to have an allowance with regards to treats and with regards to alcohol. Okay. So when we talk about an allowance is, okay, like, how many treats am I okay having without feeling guilty about it, without making a fuss about it? So that I can be present or whatever, if that is just like your thing. Same thing goes for alcohol. Have an allowance. How many drinks am I going to have? Remember this rule of thumb. Something that we always talk about is, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Okay. So you want to make sure that you plan your allowance in advance. If you're like, normally I have like, maybe like 2 to 3 drinks per month, right? But it's a holiday weekend, and I know I'm going to see people that I haven't seen in a while, and I want to drink. Okay, cool. Like, don't just go there without a plan, especially if you're going to be involving yourself in activities that are going to hinder your decision-making process. And if you think about it, both alcohol and sugar hinders your decision-making process. Okay. You might not feel like it, but it is. Okay, so if you know that it impairs your decision-making process, just make a plan in advance. Okay, like on Saturday, I'm going to have 4 drinks, okay? It's about intention, not perfection. Because if you can go into Sunday and you're like, I only had 4 drinks, you're going to go into Sunday feeling confident because you stuck to your word. You didn't cheat on yourself. Like it's a huge like self-confidence booster versus if you don't set a plan and then you're like, man, last night was a fucking shit show. So-and-so wanted me to do a shot with him. And, I ended up staying up 2 hours later. I mean,
then I got Taco Bell on the way home.
Yeah, I honestly don't think that most of you guys, like most of our listeners, are like that. However, I don't
like
know.
I was when I was 24.
Or like I was not too long ago, right? But anyways, you wanna create an allowance on the treats and alcohol department because otherwise, like your chances of adhering to that particular number is going to be a lot lesser. So we're not asking you to be perfect. Oh, I guess I will just have 1 treat. Like, is that what you want? Or do you want to have 3? Because I'd much rather you say 3 and stick to 3 versus not have a plan and then you have 13. But the reason why people have a hard time setting an intention is because they're so wrapped up on I have to be perfect. So if I'm not perfect, then I'm just going to go balls to the wall. And that's why most people end up never even coming close to their goal because they're so focused on being perfect rather than being intentional over a long period of time. And if you want to get better, you just have to be intentional based off of who you are today and push the dial just a little bit to be better tomorrow. That's that. And then the last thing, workout, like unless the doctor has told you for some reason that, let's say you had a surgery and you're still on bed rest, like you want to work out, especially if you know that you're going to, like have more treats than usual, have more alcohol than usual, and not work out in the sense of, oh, I gotta do a 10-mile run so I can be on a caloric deficit because I'm gonna have like an entire tray of brownies. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, from a cellular level, what will the workout do for you? Okay. Like if you have a workout before, let's say, like you have a treat, like your sugars are going to be utilized to build muscle instead of being stored as fat. I'm talking about the biochemical process that happens because of that. And of course, it depends on what workout you did. Like if you go on a 10-mile run, like your body's not going to try to rebuild muscle. And we can talk about that on one of our other espressos, but we have what we call, like you're either in a catabolic state or an anabolic state. And depending on what type of workout you're doing, you're either in a state of breaking down or building up. But if you're doing the burn zones, if you're in the underground training club, then you're in what we call an anabolic state. Okay. And let's say if you did a workout and you're like, I want to have a brownie, then, you have a greater likelihood of making that brownie go to increasing your muscle mass instead of getting stored as fat. Now, please make sure to not confuse that in the sense that, oh, I worked out, so now I can go balls to the walls with brownie and I'm going to build muscle. No, dude. Like there is so much that goes into it. Not all of it is going to be turned to muscle. Like muscular people don't just eat brownies. They didn't get muscular because they ate brownies. However, it can add an increased shock if you've been pretty consistent overall in your training for a right period of time. Like during that event, it can add an extra boost.
Brownies also don't help you recover very well.
Very true.
So it's like, what's the intention? It always goes back to what's the intention. I would like, you and everybody to note that you just spoke for a very long time and I didn't say anything. I'm very proud of myself. That's all. Acknowledgement of myself. Yay, go me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's true. And then, I would say how to be prepared too is like, know what is going to be where you are going. Either ask, so bring your own so that host, you can be the host so that you're in charge of it, of the food and the drink and stuff that's going to be there. And you can tell people, hey, if you want something else, bring it. Or you can eat before you go. So, there's other ways that you can be prepared, and then make a commitment. Like, what is the commitment? Like Sarit was talking about. Have an allowance or a budget or just a plan in general, and make a commitment, and then tell somebody about that commitment.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in the inner circle, you post it on the Facebook group or the Ultimate Transformation Academy or the Raw, post it in the Facebook group, tell your accountability buddy or your coach, hey, this is my intention. This is my commitment for this event. And then they can ask you afterwards. Then you know that you have to report back to somebody after the event. And while you're there, you're thinking about that and considering that. Hey, is this something I want to fess up to? Do I want to say that I didn't stick to my word? And it gives you a little bit of extra motivation and willpower while you're in the moment, because motivation and willpower alone are pretty useless because they fatigue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the longer you are in a situation, the more fatigued they get.
Mm-hmm.
Willpower runs out. It's like the battery on your phone. You're there for an hour. You're like, okay, I'm at 60% battery. You're there for a couple hours. You're like, okay, I'm at 30% 30% battery. You're there for another hour. You're like, I'm on 10. The brownies just are getting louder, and the cake is getting louder. And when your battery runs out, your motivation or your willpower battery runs out, all of a sudden there's a brownie in your mouth and you don't know what just happened. And then you're like, well, fuck it. I might as well just put another one in, because battery's at 0. But if you tell somebody about it, it's like one of those battery cases, and you can switch it on. And now you have a little bit extra motivation and willpower.
Yep. Do you have anything else to add? Yeah, so you guys, we hope that you found value from today's conversation. Share this with anybody who is on a health, fitness, or weight loss journey to, get them on the same page with you. You guys, when people are on the same page with you, like Erin said, you don't have to, always rely on willpower. And that is something that will never get you to be successful, because, willpower fatigues. So share it with them so that you can, make sure that you're more on point with your targets going into the weekend. And most importantly, plan in advance. Tomorrow we will be having an episode. In fact, we have a very special guest, Dr. Greg. I wish I knew how to pronounce his last name, but maybe tomorrow I'm going to ask him, how do you pronounce your last name? Because it's hella long and hella complicated. And yeah. But anyways, Dr. Greg and us, we're going to be talking about the relationship between confidence and peak performance, okay? And how to become a peak performer. And let's face it, if you are in the ENS Army, you definitely care to learn more about that. So tomorrow's conversation is going to be at noon Eastern time, same place. Until then, we hope that you guys have a marvelous day. By the way, if you found value from today's conversation, you have any more questions with regards to all things, nutrition and lifestyle, just go ahead and email admin@erinandsarit.com. If you want to learn more about our coaching programs, email admin@erinandsarit.com. You guys already know that we are here to help you and help those around you. So, yeah, that's all I have.
Oh, and also order the new dad shirt. It's called Get the Dad Shirt and Take Your Scissors to It.
And take your scissors to it.
And it's the new dad shirt.
Las tijeras.
Las tijeras.
All right, you guys, we hope that you have an amazing rest of your day. Happy Canada Day to all of our Canadian friends. In the meantime, we will see you tomorrow at noon Eastern.
Bye.